something caught my eye. Something caught my eye recently on a recent video that I was doing to do with the graphics card. Sorry, the motherboard that had a damaged. Let's just see if I can get this right. Had a damaged socket on the back, right? I thought I've got to go and look at this. Now, you remember when we were examining the motherboard, the previous motherboard, the first one I ordered. It had the damaged socket, the one I wasn't happy about. So I got a replacement CPU cooler and fan. Now this is the one that's bent. Do you remember? It arrived with the socket all bent up, and I wasn't happy about that. The seller said it was working, says it's in perfect working order. Now this is the one I want to test first when I actually clear my table. But something was niggling at me about it. So I went back in the video footage. Well, let's just put this on here. I want to show you what I found. So the CPU cooler is separate from a different seller, right? So I'm going to remove the CPU cooler and heatsink. No, there's no thermal paste on it because it was just assembled to test alignment and everything. Take the fan off, socket off if I can get it off. So the stock cooler fan. So I'm going to show you something that I found out. Two cotton buds, some isopropyl alcohol, so this is the 4-core CPU that came with it. I had a question in my mind. Why did the guy ship to me a complete motherboard with a CPU already fitted to the motherboard? Normally people ship these things separately to make more money, but this one was shipped all as one unit. Maybe he didn't want me to look more closely at the CPU because it's already fitted. So do you remember I took the CPU out briefly to have a look? I had a quick look over it, but I didn't thoroughly examine it. So today I'm going to show you what I found. Obviously I've got to be careful because it's static. So I'm going to take the CPU out of this board. And I'm holding my hand on to make sure I don't create any static. I'll remove the motherboard out of the way. I'm going to turn the CPU, which is a 4-core CPU, upside down, very gently. And I'm going to give you a zoom in and show you what I discovered about this. Right, let's zoom right in. Can you see it yet? Can you see it yet? Can you see what I saw? I'm zoomed in as much as I can. Can you see that? I'm going to point at it. Yes. Corrosion or damage is actually on that CPU. Let's get some light on the situation. How do I turn the torch on? It won't let me turn the torch on. See if I can get a bit nearer. That's about as close as I can get without it losing focus. I don't like that. Now, I was going to use that CPU. But now, I'm thinking, that is not good. What can I do? Well, we can attempt to clean it. So I'm going to squirt some isopropyl alcohol on it. I'm going to get my little brush. And I'm going to see if whatever that is comes off. That looks like corrosion to me. Let's see. Now this is the CPU. I've got to be very careful. So I'm going to squirt alcohol on it, which won't do any harm. Right, alcohol is applied, and I'm trying not to touch all the pins. I'm going to use my brush gently to see if I can get whatever that is off. Because if that is corrosion, the alcohol will not shift it. But if it's flux, or if it's been repaired, and the seller keeps asking me to send a response. I'm using a very, very fine brush. But I haven't responded to the seller yet because I felt something wrong. More alcohol. This is just isopropyl alcohol. Nothing else. It won't do any harm. I'm trying to clean it. I want to know what this is. Is it burn? Is it a burn? Is it flux? Is it corrosion? So I'm trying to clean it. Did the CPU let out the magic smoke? Possibly. Possibly. This is a brand new brush, by the way. I've never used it before. I am using the bristles as little, I'm poking it gently with very delicate bristles to try to clean off whatever that is, because these pins are so tiny. You want to know how small they are? Look at my finger. So I'm washing it. I'm hoping it's just flux. If it's flux, it should wash off with the alcohol. Whatever it is, that brown stain could be conductive. It could be causing problems for the CPU. It might be that there was a bent pin and the seller or business resoldered the pin back on the CPU. That happens. It might be that it was repaired. I know that Louis Rossmann has done repairs on CPUs before. So I'm trying to be extremely delicate. I'm using this paintbrush is so soft, it won't do any harm to the pins. But I'm trying to get rid of whatever that is, that brown stain. Now let's get some tissue. Right, I have some tissue paper. Let's put the CPU on the tissue. Let's put, these CPUs are so delicate. I'm going to put the tissue paper right next to the CPU, because the pins, because I want to push any crap that's on there onto the paper so I can see if it's actually come away. So I'm gonna, right, I'm just washing it. That's all I'm doing. Hoping that if there's anything residual, that it will be soaked up by this tissue. I can't see it being corrosion unless it was water damaged somehow and the motherboard was. See, this CPU could have come out of any machine, any motherboard. Does not mean it was in this particular motherboard. Could have been in another machine. It's fine. I don't know. But I'm going to find out. But I certainly wasn't going to power it up with that on there, knowing that it could cause problems. So I will be asking the seller what this is. Now, it looks to me like that's clean now. I am taking precautions. I'm going to rest it on the tissue and I'm going to wash it down with isopropyl alcohol because it'll evaporate and it will leave no trace. Right. Well, let's have a closer look. It looks like I've got rid of whatever it was. It was right here, in this corner, near pin 1. It looks okay. If that had been burned, it would still show up. So maybe it was flux. Maybe the pin was resoldered. I don't know. So now, very gently, I'm going to put this down, face down, on the tissue to let it dry. It's hard to get the camera position when I'm zoomed in so much. I'm just letting it drain out into the tissue paper and the alcohol. Okay, so I wanted to record that because I wanted to show what I found, and I wanted to make sure that any evidence was on video, because if the CPU is somehow faulty, it's good to log it. Right, so that's okay. The alcohol is draining out of it. I'm just evaporating it. I'm blowing on it to dry it out. Okay. Right. That's that done. I made a video about it. So if there's a problem, later on, I'll know where to look. That pin in the corner there. And I never needed a cotton bud. I was going to use a cotton bud to clean it, but I'm glad I didn't need it. The brush was enough. So let me zoom right out. Let's put it back in the motherboard. Might as well leave it where it was situated. Right. I've forgotten where pin 1 was now. My eyes are terrible. Yeah, it's this corner here. So turn that around. Gently touch the board to make sure there's no static between the CPU and the board. Make sure, touch the battery, lower it into position. It should drop right in. If we've got it in the right position. It's hard to pick it up. There we go, it's done in. It's in. Gently push down and lower this lever. That's it, it's back. It's in the right place. This is pin 1 in this corner here. So I'll put this heatsink. I haven't put any thermal paste on. Now I'll tell you something else what I've got, right? Just a minute. I have some Arctic Silver thermal paste, which has just arrived, but I'm not going to use this right now because I don't know how much is in here. This is going to be used for the final assembly when I actually build my new computer. So this is for final assembly. But I have some other generic purpose serviceable silicon heat transfer, which I'm going to use for testing only. This is not as good thermal paste. It's not as good at thermally conducting heat as the Arctic Silver is. And the Arctic Silver I got, I think it's number 2 or 3. The best ones are number 5 apparently. Arctic Silver 5. This is number 2. So this is the cheaper stuff. Why do I go for the cheaper stuff? Well, I'm not going to spend a fortune if it turns out it's not going to work. So that's better than that. No, wait. No, definitely. This Arctic Silver 2 is definitely better than this stuff, right? But for the meantime, I'm going to use the cheap stuff because I'm going to be doing tests on this. So the way you normally do it, it's about the size of a pea. So I'm going to squeeze a bit of this out if it's going to squeeze out. This tube's nearly dried out. Actually, there's not much left in it. There we go. So put a dab on there. Right. So this will do for testing. And I've got this little plastic thing here, which I'm going to use to spread this around. It's actually dried out a bit, but it'll do for testing. I didn't squeeze much out actually. Probably need a bit more. I hate it when I get on my hands. Horrible. You know what? I'm just going to use my bloody finger. Like it's a lot more effective at spreading it out. This plastic, it's the heat, you see. My finger's warm and it will spread out better. Over time, this thermal paste has a tendency to get thicker and very viscous. I had it on my finger anyway, so where's my alcohol gone? Right, I have a very thin coating of thermal paste on there, which will be enough for testing. Get this lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this up, see if we have good coverage. Right. Just wiggle that a little bit. Let's check it, see if it's covered all of the heatsink. Just wiggle it a bit to get it out. It's definitely stuck down there now because the thermal paste has got it stuck. Can't get it off now. I'm trying to break suction. Well, it's stuck there. It's stuck down very good. I don't want to pull it off because it's going to pull the whole chip. It's going to pull the whole CPU out if I'm not careful. Wiggling it about helps to spread it around between the heatsink and the CPU. Oh, it's definitely spread out because it won't come off now. I've got suction. I have suction. Oh, I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. It's okay. I've got suction. It won't pull off. So that's good. That's a good connection between the heatsink and the CPU. Right, let's get this back on. When you've got suction, you know you've got a really good bond, a good thermal coupling. Right. Get on there. There we go. Okay, that's definitely working. That's definitely hooked up right. So when I come to test this board, I'm going to be testing it with this CPU first. Make sure this motherboard, CPU and everything's working right. And then I'll be going over to the good motherboard that's still in an anti-static sealed bag. And I'll also have the 6-core CPU, which is going to be arriving in a few days. So I'm hoping my voice will be better by then. Right, I'll put the fan back on. And I have memory. I'll show you the memory. This is the original memory that came with my computer that before I upgraded it to 8GB. This is 4GB of DDR3. And get the thing off. So this is the original memory that came with my machine. 4GB. 1333 megahertz. That's basically 1.333 gigahertz. It's very basic memory. That's what came with my original computer. And if I take this out, and get it out, it's been in there for a long time. There we go. There we go. This memory should fit directly in here. Let's move this out of the way. If you look, the slot has to be to the top, right? That slot there. So we use the first slot. I'm going to stand up, press down on both sides till it goes in. There we go, it's in. So the memory's in. So this board has 4GB of memory, has a CPU, fan. All it needs is a graphics card to test with. Now, I have the new graphics card. I've just arrived today. This is supposed to have onboard graphics. So when I actually test this board, the first thing I'm going to be testing is onboard graphics. We want to make sure the motherboard is fully functional. So I'm going to be using the onboard graphics to test this motherboard first. And then I'm going to use the option of plugging in the PCI Express graphics card. Now, I have another PCI Express graphics card. Just a minute. Now this other graphics card is also an Asus. Now this one was in my backup computer, the one that recently died. Now, once I've tested this motherboard and I know that it's working, I'm going to try this graphics card. Because one burning question that has been in my mind: did this graphics card fail? Now, my backup computer, the old computer from like 5-6 years ago that died on me, did not have onboard graphics. It did not have the option of plugging in onboard graphics. It only had this graphics card. And I never knew what killed that other machine. I never knew that what killed it. Or if it was killed, was it the graphics card that died? I want to know. So I'll have the ability, because this motherboard is already bent up and messed up. Once I verify that this motherboard is working all right, I would like to find out if this graphics card is any good. And it will fit. It will fit. I think. One way around. I'm not going to put it in right now because it's dusty. It's been on my thing in there. It wants cleaning. So this one, it's been sat on the top of my table in the other room, and it's all got dusty. It's been stood there that long. I would really like to know if this graphics card is duff or gone bad. I know that the other machine, the backup computer from 5 years ago, I'm not talking about the recent stuff. I know that that one died on me when I was watching a live stream, not on YouTube. I think it was, can't remember now. I would like to eliminate this as well. I've just dusted it off. That's just alcohol. This is just alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol. So when I can determine if this graphics card is also working or not working, it fits, look. It's the same type. PCI Express times 16. Supposed to be a lever that you push down. There we go. So that fits fine. So I'd like to test this one before I test my new graphics card, which is the same as what's in my existing machine. Now, I have checked the fuse. There's a fuse here, look. I did check that recently. Now, I can check it again, show you. Right, let's just put it there. There's a fuse. It's perfect. It never blew no fuses. But the original backup computer which was the 939 motherboard. The 939 motherboard, as explained before, it's too slow in today's modern computing, even on Linux. It's really too slow. So I would like to know if this card's any good, and I don't want to put it in my existing machine in case it's not. But this board that's bent, as far as I'm concerned, this board is for testing. I can test stuff on it. It's great because instead of me risking damaging or risking any other of my machines, I can use this board for doing some tests on now, because I didn't have that option before, because I didn't have another 942. Now this board is let's see, it's socket 942. Don't know if you can see that. Socket 942. My other motherboard was a 939 that was in the backup computer. So I'll have the option now of testing out my other graphics card in this machine, in this board, and also have the other motherboard, which was in a sealed bag. It's in immaculate condition. It's got no damage or anything in it. And I did a unboxing video on that, but I'll tell you what, while I'm at it, why don't I just show you it, even though it's still sealed in a bag, right? So, just a minute. Give me a sec. Right, so here we are with the other motherboard. Now I'm going to stick this one back in its back box, because I'm going to test this one very soon. Why I'm doing it right now, it's because I haven't finished cleaning my table. And I'm still feeling like crap. I'm just going to wrap this up. So that was ready to be, this one is all ready to be tested. It's got the memory in it, it's got the CPU in it. I cleaned up that problem on the CPU. We're going to find out if it's any good. So I'm going to stick this one under the table for now. Alright. So this one I did an unboxing video on. Very well packaged. Very well packaged. And this was also 30 quid, which was quite cheap. Now you're wondering, oh, you said you never have any money. Yeah, that's true. I don't ever have any money. But in case you missed it, I've been very sick for the last 3 weeks. And because I've been very sick, I haven't been able to buy any cigarettes, and I haven't been smoking any cigarettes. I've had the odd one. But because I haven't bought a load of cigarettes, I had extra money in my pocket to buy the motherboards, you see. Packet of fags costs 14, 15 quid, right? One motherboard is 2 packets of fags, right? You get it? This is the motherboard that came with the back plate. There's a back plate, and guess what? It's all sealed in an airtight bag. This motherboard is immaculate. It's exactly the same as the other one, except that this one has not got damage to it. This one's looks in great shape. The back HDMI and D sub is in perfect condition. It's not bent. It's not bent at all. It's great. I haven't opened it yet. I haven't even opened it. It's still sealed up in a bag. Why haven't I opened it? Because I want to test the other one first. And I want to... This one, no CPU with it. But I've ordered a CPU. And that CPU should be here in a few days. This is also a 942. Socket 942. So the other CPU was on offer at £16. That was another packet of fags basically. So when the other 60-core CPU arrives, I can put it in this one. I think I'll leave that other motherboard, the one that's bent, with a 4-core in it. I think I'm going to stick the 6-core in this one, because eventually, instead of having 2 computers, having this machine, my main machine, and a backup machine, I might end up with 3, because all I'm going to need then is my memory for the other machine, the other board. And I'm also planning on upgrading the memory for this one anyway, so it's got 16 gigabyte of memory, and that's cheap at the moment too. So things are working out at the moment. And I wanted to get these because at the moment everyone's upgrading. Everybody else is on the treadmill for Microsoft Windows. All running to try and keep up with Microsoft. And I'm on Linux, and I prefer Linux. You don't need to be on that freaking treadmill. So there we have it. That's where I am at the moment. So thank you for watching. Bye.